Something you'll see a lot throughout the whole island, but especially in Wenchang, is people selling coconuts and all kinds of coconut products. That's why Wenchangji, which is the chicken that only eats coconut, is native to this area of the island. No ma. That burger was too much. I almost had a heart attack, Caillou.
We're exhausted, like homeless people kicked out of a park. Here we go. Today we're finally going to arrive in the city of Wenchang, which is where China launches its rockets from. Most tourists come to see the launch platform and sometimes even to witness a live launch. However, Wenchang is much more than just rockets, as it's home to the famous Wenchang chicken. And at the same time, it has some very beautiful historic streets that we will be exploring today. Yesterday we did about 62.5 kilometers, and we wanted to do a bit more to reach the city of Wenchang. But night fell when we still had 15 kilometers to go, and honestly, it seemed pretty dangerous to us. The only problem was that we couldn't find a single hotel. And if it hadn't been for a couple of cyclists we met, we probably would have had to camp around here for a second night in a row. And considering that we have to carry all the equipment added and that we hadn't had a good shower in quite a while, that would have been a problem. But that was only during the day, because at night they invited us to dinner. Originally, my friend told me that the restaurant was 2 kilometers away and that we were going to take a taxi. But surprise, surprise, in this part of the island there isn't a single taxi. And since there was no other means of transportation, we had to ride bicycles. And the trip wasn't 2 kilometers, but it was 10. So yesterday we ended up doing 74-75 kilometers in total. And your body feels it. That's why today we're only going to do the 14 kilometers to Wenchang, and we're going to spend the day sightseeing and showing you the most interesting parts of this place. In a way, we could call it a rest day, at least from cycling. How do you feel, Fur, after yesterday's beating?
Well, I'm relieved that today we only have to cover 15 kilometers.
Yes, you can really feel the 70-something kilometers we ended up doing in total.
My legs hurt.
And it's worth mentioning that it was our personal record. We had never done more than 40 before, and yesterday we did 70. As they say, slow and steady wins the race. That's why today will be a relaxed day. We're finally arriving in Wenchang. This is the first city we visited since we left Haikou. Everything else has been small counties where sometimes there's not even a hotel. Here maybe we can get some Western food which you sometimes miss. And don't get me wrong, we love Chinese food, but being able to have a pizza or some lasagna once in a while is good for the heart. And I'm not talking about tacos because that would be very unrealistic. It's hard to find them in big cities. Well, here there's no hope. I love that this city, even though it's not big or well known, has its own well-defined bike lane. And along the way there are several signs indicating that it's especially for two-wheeled vehicles. Motorcycles, bicycles, e-bikes, they all count. It's really good, clearly marked and organized. We've already started having problems early on. Noelia's pannier has been getting punctured. In the last 4 days we had found a solution, but on any downhill stretch it bursts.
It seems like the plastic on the back part got bent or something like that. And so every time my bike bounces, it smacks against the tire because it doesn't have enough structure anymore. And then what ends up happening is that it gets caught in a spoke.
It gets stuck. That can make you fall. We need to fix that. Looks like we've arrived at the hotel. I don't know where we are. Noelia chose it, but it doesn't look bad. This really does look like a city for the first time.
Well, now that we're showered and rested, we can take a walk around the city. Right now, we're in one of the most touristy areas called Huenanlaoye. In fact, it's the street right here. We're going to go in right now. And just like many parts of the island, it also takes shape. It's mostly made up of these buildings called shilu, which are buildings or arcades that serve to provide shelter to shoppers who come to this area, which has always been very commercial. Now, we were on this same street 2 years ago, but under very, very different conditions because at that time there was a typhoon all over the island. It rained almost 70% of the time we were here, and that's why the scenery was completely different. Right now, we're coming during a time when the Chinese have holidays. It's a very busy, very festive time. This street is all decorated, and there are lots of people walking around here. It's very different from the last time we were here. It was dead and empty. All the shops were closed, it was wet, the weather was horrible. I'm really happy to see what this city looks like when the weather is nice. I don't know why I'm so captivated by this kind of building. Also, this street is different from the one in Haikou. For example, you can see the buildings are more gray in color. In Haikou, they were whiter. And also, I see that they have a lot of details in bright colors. Something you'll see a lot throughout the whole island, but especially in Wenchang, is people selling coconuts and all kinds of coconut products. That's why Wenchangji, which is the chicken that only eats coconut, is native to this area of the island. And in the next few days, we'll also be passing through one of the largest coconut forests on the whole island, which is located right on the outskirts of this city. What I've seen the most along this whole street is that they sell a lot of shoes and a lot of clothes, and also a lot of businesses either making clothes or mending clothes, which is something you don't see so often anymore on other old streets in China, because they have been geared so much toward tourism that the local businesses have often been replaced by franchises. Hey, the businesses were so closed up back then that I just realized they have a little shopping plaza right here. I mean, now they're all closed too because people are already leaving for Chinese New Year vacation, but still, there's a lot more activity than back then. They have all kinds of products, underwear, t-shirts, skirts. It's just such a huge difference. Right now, there is business everywhere. For several years now, this Wenanlaoye street has become a popular tourist destination in this city or even in this area. There are so many tourists who come to see it, but the most obvious proof is that the buildings here are already being renovated. If you look at this building, it's already painted, but there are still scaffolds, which means they're going to keep working on it, and maybe soon this will become a modern cafe or a hotel. Who knows? And don't be surprised if something very similar happens soon with the rest of the buildings on this street. That's what has happened in other areas of China. Tourism brings many opportunities, but honestly, it also erases a bit of the authenticity of places, and I wouldn't like it if the local people disappeared from this shopping plaza, for example. Max went to the pharmacy for a second, and what did you buy, Mitzi?
Protein. Today I feel tired, my muscles hurt, everything hurts, and we haven't eaten very well throughout the trip. It's hard to find stops where you can eat something decent. So I bought some protein packets, but it's a Chinese brand that's supposed to be plant-based protein, but well, it was better than nothing. I bought a bunch of packets like that and it cost me a small fortune, but
it just looks like you bought it in bulk.
So everyone can take 2 a day.
Here is where the street food section starts. There are more and more little stalls, and lately we've seen some pretty interesting food. This lady here is making what I think is sugarcane juice. This person here sells all kinds of drinks, and something we've seen a lot lately and find quite interesting are these stalls that have some unusual sushi. Some of them even have ramen on top. And look, it's not just that one over here, there's also an identical stall on the other side of the street. I wonder if the owner is the same person. Over here we have waffles and sausages stuffed with egg. Wow, I hadn't seen that before. Is that egg inside? Is the sausage made of meat or is it vegetarian? It's vegetarian and has egg. It looks delicious. Look, on this side we have a little Wenchangji stall. Is it Wenchangji chicken?
Yes.
How much is half a kilo? 45 wen for half a kilo of this chicken, which is supposed to be fed only with coconut, but we have a better place to eat this kind of food. And the first time we came here to Wenchang was when we tried the famous chicken from this part of the country, and I'm not joking when I say it's famous. There are restaurant franchises all over the country with this kind of food, and our favorite restaurant is just across this bridge. This one right here is the restaurant. You can see it's called Sanyaoye Yijia. That means it's the first Sanyaoye Wenchangji restaurant, and up there it says that it's a restaurant that's over 100 years old. It opened in 1916. I already know this place is amazing. The chicken is what made us fall in love with this dish in the first place. And since then, we've never tried one like the one here.
A chicken? Correct. How much would it be? 75 yuan for half a kilo. Alright, give us a kilo. Coming up, 1 kilo of chicken. We also want rice, 2 bowls. You'll see that you're going to like it. I'm sure it's the best. Actually, I think I've been here before. Had you been here before? Yes, you sat inside. That's right. Do you remember, ma'am? I think we know each other. We've seen each other somewhere.
Here is our delicious Wenchang already prepared. Don't judge it by its whitish color. That's how chicken is in this part of the world. Alright, Mitzi, do the honors.
Look, I was recording over there because you can see how they fight over customers. You can tell this is a famous place for Wenchang chicken, and that's why a lot of tourists come to this block. But I see that as soon as they cross the bridge, people rush at them. And everyone wants to pull them into their restaurants because they all claim to be the original place for Wenchang chicken.
Last time we tried it here, it was really good, so let's see if it still is.
It's exquisite, it's tender, juicy, it has some fat but not too much. With this little sauce, it's phenomenal. It's a lemon and garlic sauce that's amazing. But we have to ask who invented it. Excuse me, ma'am, where was Wenchang chicken created? Well, here in Wenchang. It's local chicken. Oh, but which was the first restaurant? Well, we are a very old restaurant. 100 years, right? Yes, it was our great-grandparents. Are these old too? Nah, just ours?
Ours is the most famous one.
This is the oldest one, right?
Look at how delicious this is. We left everything there. The only thing we didn't eat were the few organs it had, but oh well. We're leaving now, ma'am. Goodbye. Goodbye, boss lady. I can confirm without a doubt that the chicken they sell at this restaurant is still the most delicious I've ever tasted, even though we've been visiting different places around the city of Wenchang these days. But this restaurant has something special. I don't know what it is. However, Wenchang chicken is not the only reason why this city is famous. There's another very interesting aspect which I didn't know about until I researched a temple that's located across this alley. Look at how different this street is. It's like the people who came to build the Chilus only built the street over there. Or maybe all of this, like they say in Mexico, used to be just farmland. But nowadays it's full of businesses. Look, kittens. Notice the look of the alley we came from and where it led us. What are all these buildings?
I learned English years ago. Here in Wenchang? No, in Singapore.
Oh, Singapore.
Did you live there? Yes, years ago. Cool, are you from Wenchang? That's right. Did you go to university in Singapore? Yes, I studied international logistics management. So you sell coconuts online? And do you sell them to other countries as well, or only in China? Only in China for now. Wenchang is a very beautiful place. Where do you recommend we go? This temple is cool, it's very famous. The Confucius temple? Yes, you can buy your tickets there. Alright, we'll do that. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
We just met a guy who greeted us in English and told us that he learned English in Singapore and now he sells coconuts all over China through e-commerce here in Wenchang.
Yeah, he was already telling me, hey, but in your country there aren't any coconuts, right? He must think it's like the desert they show in American movies, right? Yeah. There are a lot of coconuts. In fact, we have coastlines on both sides of the country with some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And he says to me, really? And I say, yes, I promise you. He was like, I think he just doesn't want to buy my coconuts.
How funny that he recommended exactly one of the places I was already going to take you to, which is the Confucius temple. The downside is that since we're on the eve of Chinese New Year, I think it's not open. And to get in, you even have to buy a ticket, which I didn't know or expect. I guess these are things about modern China. They've even got a tourist center and everything here.
I just asked about the hours and they told me it's already closed and tomorrow they won't open. Why? Because tomorrow is Chuxi, which is the day before Chinese New Year?
It's a shame that it's not open, but just from the street views alone, we already have a visual treat. Look, this building looks more French-Chinese, quite a strange mix next to the Confucius temple. And this whole street seems to have temples or buildings with quite unique architecture. I don't know if this is the spiritual part of Wenchang, but that's the vibe I get. This one here is the temple of the goddess Matsu, who is the goddess of the sea or something like that, right?
Yes, she is the goddess of the sea. She is highly revered in coastal areas because fishermen and people who went out on boats would pray a lot to the goddess of the sea, who is the goddess Matsu. So if you go to Xiamen, if you come to Hainan, if you go to any coastal place like Fujian, you always find temples of Matsu. We can't go inside this time, but it's still beautiful from the outside. Look at how they've got those dragons there in a circular design. It's a shame we came on the eve of Chinese New Year, because today they closed early and tomorrow they won't open.
But anyway, going back to what I wanted to show you, which is this temple here, which is the Confucius temple. The reason why this temple is so famous and people come to visit it is because it's one of the best preserved Confucian temples on Hainan Island, but it's not only famous for that. Confucian temples are usually places where parents go to pray for their children or relatives to pass very important exams, such as the Gaokao, and this tradition dates back to the era of the imperial examinations. But besides that, it just so happens that Wenchang, the city we are in right now, is known in China for its high rate of success in the imperial examinations. In fact, this city is the main educational center of Hainan Island. But I find it really curious because, as Max has told you before, this island is known for being a place where people were exiled, right? I mean, this was very far from the urban areas of the Chinese Empire, where there were more resources, more opportunities, and more services. However, somehow, during the Song, Ming, and Qing dynasties, Wenchang developed a local culture very focused on classical Confucian education and systematic preparation for the state exams. That is, at a time when people were not very literate, Wenchang stood out quite a lot in that area. There were a lot of things that developed from that fame and from the role that Wenchang had, since later on, private academies or educational centers funded by local clans emerged so that people could become more educated. But anyway, here is the center where you can come to pray for your educational and professional success. If something is troubling you, I think you can come here to cry to Confucius.
Did you write those yourselves?
That's right.
Tomorrow is the day of the big dinner and the evening event.
Exactly.
It's very interesting because tomorrow is Chuxi, which is like Christmas Eve for the Chinese. No, not Christmas Eve.
New Year's Eve.
It's the Chinese New Year's Eve, so they're decorating their houses and putting up these wishes, which are really beautiful. They even have an altar here. Tomorrow is the dinner and the key night of the festivities.
No, Matt.
They threw it at you.
He really went overboard. I almost had a heart attack, Caillou.
Yeah, tomorrow it's going to be a crazy racket. Today is Tuesday, February 17th, the first day of the Lunar New Year, and time to restart our journey around the largest island in China. Today is a very important day because in the lunar calendar it's known as Chengyue Chui and it has many interesting traditions. For example, the fact that you shouldn't cry so you don't attract sadness for the rest of the year. You shouldn't sweep the house so you don't sweep away the good luck that arrived yesterday. You should eat dumplings to attract prosperity. And you should give red envelopes to your loved ones. In this case, we already have our own to give to whoever we meet along the way, because we don't have any relatives around here. But we are curious to see what the cities and streets look like on this special day when most people don't work. In fact, the only reason there's a bit of traffic now is because we're going out at 12:30 in the afternoon. Because last night we went to the celebration of the Chinese New Year at the beach, in a very beautiful place that a local recommended to us. You can't imagine the amazing things we saw, but if you want to see in more detail everything we experienced, Noelia and I did a live stream that day. And it's really worth it because during the celebration a local family invited us to sit with them. We made a toast together, talked about how much we dislike Donald Trump, and then they invited us to eat the traditional jiaozi, which I have to say were delicious. And there's also a tradition with this type of food, since the Chinese usually hide a coin inside the jiaozi, and the person who finds the coin, if they don't break their teeth and end up at the dentist, they're supposed to get rich during the year. Which in this case is the year of the horse, a year that's supposed to be very eventful, a year of ups and downs but quite positive. Be careful, Noelia. I get nervous because obviously today there are a lot of people who haven't slept. And a lot of people are hungover on the streets, so it can get dangerous. For now, we're planning to do 30 kilometers today, but considering that it's not sunny today, the weather is pretty mild. Maybe we'll do more. If you look around, there's absolutely nothing open except for hotels and a few restaurants, but very few. Everything is closed and the city feels very quiet, which is quite strange in one of the most populated countries on the planet. But for the cyclist, this is pure gold, because you practically have the streets to yourself. Let's hope it's the same on the road and that it doesn't rain on us because the sky is getting cloudy. It's incredible how much they're building. There are apartment buildings everywhere, and we even passed a hotel, like a luxury resort they were making back there, and a shopping mall. And the thing is, China never stops expanding. No matter what city you're in, they're constantly building, innovating. But anyway, the adventure continues. There's a sign over there that announces the Aerospace Science Center, and we're probably about to enter Space Avenue or Aerospace Avenue. And that's because this city is known for having a rocket launch site. Unfortunately, last time we were here, they said foreigners couldn't enter. I'm not sure if things have changed, but we can't enter this time because it's Chinese New Year.
Hey, it's crazy, isn't it? Because this city only has 187,000 inhabitants, but wow, do they launch rockets?
It's really crazy.
Well, 187,000 inhabitants in its urban area. If we count the whole city, including the outskirts, all the villages, all the counties, there are about 600,000 people living here.
What a nice touch. Even the bridge, which is huge, is decorated with the Chinese New Year theme. On each of the light poles, they hung signs that say, "I love my country." In fact, they display the values of the Communist Party. Each of the little flags shows a value of the Communist Party. Among them are culture, civilization, respect, freedom, love for the homeland, and industry. Not many people stop to read it, but the fact that they take the time to put it there to remind the population of the values, I think it's great. Fortunately, there was a bike path because that high-speed road was really scary, especially when you're on a bridge, because with the curve of the bridge, they might not see you. But this route has proven to be completely cyclist-friendly, which is why we made it available to the channel members. As a way of thanking everyone for all the support we've received, so if you want to download it, it's available for channel members. Happy New Year, have a Happy New Year, have a Happy New Year. Wishing people a Happy New Year on the bridge. Did you see the grandma who was crossing the bridge in her wheelchair? Now that's a loving son, because if I'm struggling to ride up on my bike, just imagine that guy pushing the wheelchair across the whole bridge. And here are the first signs of the biggest migration on the planet. No, this island is going to burst fur. It's good that we won't get to Sanya until after Chinese New Year is over, because Sanya must be packed right now. It's one of two things. Either this place really is pretty epic, or everyone is just here because of Chinese New Year. Because there are so many people, there are even traffic jams for bikes. The amount of coconut products, dried coconut, coconut cookies, drinkable coconuts, coconut chicken, and of course Wenchang chicken.
Hi, young lady, want something to eat?
Not yet, miss, once we get there. Excuse me, where can I park my bike?
Go ahead, park wherever you want.
Oh, anywhere?
Anywhere is fine if you're not in the way.
Understood, I'll stay out of the way. Thanks. Okay, we don't have to pay for parking. We can stop wherever we want. Hello, hello, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. This must be it, the coconut forest.
It has over 500,000 palm trees.
Wow. Look, inside the coconut forest there also seems to be a community, and check out that huge house.
There are several villages.
Are there multiple villages in the coconut forest?
Yes, it's huge. Do you remember we were talking yesterday about the chicken that eats coconuts and how there are so many dishes related to coconut? That must be the answer. Otherwise, what would they do with all those coconuts?
No, and I saw that they use everything from the husk to make furniture and rugs to the flesh and the water. Nothing goes to waste. Right now we're entering the coconut forest that was part of the route. And I stopped to show you this house because there are some really unique ones, but I especially like this one. With its hammock, its little mandarin trees at the entrance, and its Chinese New Year decorations, all with the backdrop of palm trees. I feel like it looks like one of those Microsoft wallpapers. Is this the coconut forest? That's right. Do I need a ticket? No, it's not a tourist resort. Ah, I see. So why did my navigation app bring me here? The same thing happened to us.
Oh, it's good to know we're not the only ones.
Apparently we're not the only ones. The navigation app brought us right to my buddy's house.
It was just so random. I mean, suddenly I got here and thought, well, this is the end. Now it says we should turn around and leave.
I guess that's the thing. I mean, what's next is to check out this route, right? Yeah. We're going with him. We're going together. Are we going together? No, don't go with me. I'm worried. I've gone too far. So, can you help me? All right, follow her. Her?
Better not, man. I'm kind of lost.
The man giving us directions. Did the GPS bring you here too?
Yeah.
The GPS is wrong?
Just imagine how many people come here and how many people the man has to help.
I'm sure the man is already fed up. He's redirecting lost tourists. Right now we arrived at the place the GPS told us, but it turned out it wasn't there. The man was actually confused. He was like, why do tourists keep coming to my house? I'm already fed up. So he redirected us somewhere else, and we don't know what's over there, but I see the tourist carts going that way, so the question is, which way should we go? I say we ask someone in a tourist cart. What do you think? What would you do? Hello, where is the entrance to the forest or the tourist center?
You're already in it.
Ah, so we just walk around here?
That's right.
So there's no specific place to go?
Exactly.
No, there isn't. We're just here to walk through the forest.
It's just that I see the Chinese people getting off at specific spots and taking pictures.
He mentions a place for us to go. This one? This one? Ah, so we're going that way. Wow, kids. How cute. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here the saying really applies. Traveler, there is no path. You make the path as you walk. And it's not the destination, it's the journey that you should enjoy. We were looking for the entrance to a park. We were looking for a tower. We were looking for something epic that would tell us, you've arrived. When the truth is that this was the destination. Well, I think there's nothing here. People just come to take pictures with the palm trees.
Yes, I should have known. Considering how the Chinese are, they just go looking for places.
They can take a picture and leave quickly, it's true.
And where to eat?
Well, we stopped to have a coconut, right?
I'm in.
Are you traveling here? No, I'm just walking here, but I'm working in Shanghai. Ah, so you're a local. Yes, it's the new year. You're coming back to your kitchen. Yes. So why do so many people come here? Because it's more popular. Ah, there's a beach. Yes, I think it's a beach. But it's a beach anyway. Okay, great. So what's your name? You can call me Bo. How, Bo? Nice to meet you, Bo. What are you doing in Shanghai? Are you studying? No, I already work. Oh, I see. Where are you from? We're from Mexico and Spain. Oh, I see. We're traveling around the island by bike. We're really enjoying it. Do you come here every year? Yes, always. To set off fireworks, yes. My father's family's house is here. Do your grandparents live here? Yes. Inside the forest? Yes, inside the forest. Do you like coming back? Yes, it's very peaceful. Oh, what a cool drawing. Did you make them yourself? Yes. Wow, that's awesome. Ah, he's an artist. Did you see his paintings? Look, this is from the German team from 2024. Thank you, Tom Cross, thank you. Do you have one of Messi? Yeah. Enzo Fernandez, look. Oh, there's good old Messi. Spanish? Ah, the Spanish team is here too. Don't you have one from Mexico? Mexico? No, Mexico, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll make one from Mexico for the World Cup. Great, I'll add you on WeChat. I'll buy it from you. Oh, thank you very much. Now everything makes sense. Right in front of the coconut forest, there's a beach. A very beautiful white sand beach. And I don't understand why the young man said it's a very ugly beach. Honestly, I think it's pretty nice, and the fact that it has a coconut forest right behind it really gives it a lot of charm. Maybe this is what we should have come to see. And look at the hotel.
It's cool.
Yeah, the hotel is awesome.
I think she even said something like, no, the hotel is horrible, it's really old.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you can have your little cabin by the sea, but the best part is the endless tourist attractions they have here. The buggy costs you 220 yen for 20 minutes. Honestly, I think it's a bit expensive, but it's a lot of fun. We've done it before and it's definitely worth it. It's just that maybe 20 minutes feels a bit short to me. Hello? Oh. They don't just have the buggies, but right across they also have the tank. What's that? It even has a machine gun up there. The question is, how do they prevent someone from getting run over? Something that will always catch my attention here in China is the way people dress at the beach. Because if you notice, everyone comes in street clothes, pants, a lot of them even wear jackets and so on. And it's not that it's cold, it's just that they don't like to get a tan. And that's probably why there are so many people here today, because there's not much sun. Well, I don't know where my buddy got that from. That the beach was ugly and that the hotels were old. And well, maybe the hotels are old, but the beach is amazing and I see a lot of potential for it to become a coastal area look. And apparently there's only this hotel here. There are some small ones over there, but it's not what you would normally find in a hotel zone.
Do you see that over there?
Yes.
That's where we should go.
Today?
I don't remember exactly where we're going to end up today, but yes, I mean, the reason we have to go back the same way is because we can't cross here.
Well, we're leaving the coconut forest, and while the forest is very beautiful and I'm sure it's worth swinging by, I definitely wouldn't recommend that you take a detour unless you're coming by car or you do it during a season when there's not so much traffic. Because I'm almost sure that all these cars are going to be lined up for about an hour at least just to find parking. Is it worth it? I don't know, but honestly I wouldn't travel during these dates by car. So there you have it. Brutally honest, a nice place but not essential. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Well, that little car is epic, huh?
I need one to take me to the kitties.
Let's see, we have to catch up to them. What a curious little car. Excuse me, Happy New Year. We've been going for 3 hours and 36.5 kilometers and suddenly our energy is starting to drop. We start to feel sleepy and hungry, so we stop for some bread at a market we find along the way. And then suddenly the conversation starts about where we're going to sleep tonight, where we're going to stop.
We're seriously considering the possibility of staying here tonight still on the outskirts of Wenchang. Because originally I thought we were going to pedal 30 kilometers in total to the town we wanted to reach, but it turns out that from here it's 30 kilometers. In total we would have done about 60 kilometers again, and honestly I don't think we're up for it today.
And some kilometers are harder than others. Not all kilometers are the same. Today almost all of them were uphill.
I have to say that my spirits are a bit low, like I feel we just went to the coconut forest just to say hi, literally. But well, the good thing is that we've already discovered it and now you can decide for yourselves if you want to go there or not. Honestly, it's pretty tough by bike.
We have good news. We just found a camping area right here in front of us, and honestly it would be great for us because we're exhausted. We wanted to keep going and we debated it. We felt like losers, but you have to listen to your body. And the point is to finish, not to end up injured halfway. So we're going to pass by the market. I would have thought that on the first day of the Chinese New Year there wouldn't be many businesses open and that everything would be closed like yesterday, but no, I was wrong. A lot of people went out to the streets after 12, businesses opened, and many tourists went out for a walk. The market is at its peak. Ah, look, here's the camp. We had a camping area right in front of us. Can you believe it, Noelia? What a coincidence. Well, we can't find the camping area, who knows where it is, but we've already decided to camp anywhere. By pure chance, we're arriving at the same area where we celebrated Chinese New Year yesterday. And it worked out great for us because yesterday we probably ate the best dumplings we've had in this country. And now that we showed up hungry, they're probably going to taste even better. They say you always go back to where you were happy. Well, about 16 hours ago, we were here drinking with a local family. We were very happy, and that's why we're back. Let's order. Hey guys, we want 2 pieces just like yesterday. Many of you saw the live stream where we celebrated Chinese New Year in this very place, but you didn't see this place during the day, so we decided to come back. We hadn't planned to return, we just ended up here by chance. And something really impressive is that it doesn't look like a war zone. There's not as much trash as yesterday, when you might expect it to be littered with firework debris. If there are any, the remnants remain, but they're less noticeable than yesterday. Surely someone came to clean up, but just look at how many people are on this beach today. I mentioned it during the Chinese New Year live stream. If you didn't see it, you should know that Noelia and I were here about a year and 2 or 3 months ago, filming an episode of Around China in 88 days, and it was a completely different scene. It was pretty apocalyptic. A typhoon had just passed through here and caused a lot of damage. In fact, this pier was closed. There was a barbed wire fence and we had to climb over it to visit the pier. But today it's open and it's packed. People from all the cities, they even have a little train. Look, this was the fence that Noelia and I jumped over a year and 2 months ago. Do you remember that we had to go around here and we jumped over it? Because there were several locals who did it to fish, and that's how we were able to visit the pier. This is what I was telling you about, that people come to fish in this beautiful place, and I'm really glad they have this to do it because it must be wonderful to live here. In the back, there's the cafe and library out over the water. It's an awesome project. It got hit hard during the typhoon and was closed back then, and we couldn't show it to you, but we're heading over there so you can take a look, and yes, it's open. Look at this beautiful cafe. They even have live performances. The gentleman is playing his instrument.
Don't think that this man is here to ask for money. He's here to practice because it's his hobby.
But what a beautiful library. They have cake and everything. We'll have to come back. They close at 9. We have to go get the dumplings and come back.
Did you see the lights yet?
Yeah, they're awesome.
They already turned them on.
That's what I was saying yesterday, that when China sets out to do something, they always go big. They could have just fixed the pier, but instead they made it extremely epic. What better food for the first day of the year than the famous jiaozi, which is one of the most important traditions during the Chinese New Year festivities. And according to belief, these dumplings are shaped like the ancient gold ingots known as yuanbao. But at the same time, the name jiaozi sounds like a Chinese word meaning exchange, referring to the change of the year. Therefore, this food, as simple as it may seem, is like eating a gold ingot, in other words, consuming wealth. And at the same time, there's a tradition where people or families hide a small coin inside these dumplings. And it's believed that if you get it, you'll have fortune and lots of luck that year. But it's also interesting because they eat them at midnight, just like we eat grapes during the chimes. They stuff themselves with jiaozi, which is a very beautiful tradition because usually they make them as a family and don't buy them. But since we don't have family here, we buy them, and I have to say they're really good. I didn't record earlier that we finally decided to camp by the beach, but that's what happened. We started setting up the camp and we were so tired that we fell asleep, even with all the fireworks going off around us. However, at 11:30 at night, a motorcycle pulled up, honking at full blast, and someone started shouting, "Get up everyone, take down those camps. This is not a camping area, everyone out." But he wasn't asking calmly. He started shouting while honking the horn. And well, people got scared. There are kids and everything. It seems like it's the guy from the local administration, which I find strange because this is a public parking lot that says it's open 24 hours. And so we let the Chinese handle the discussion, because obviously as a foreigner you have to follow the rules. After all the yelling, because things got ugly, they yelled all sorts of things at each other. Now the Chinese are leaving. And as they say in China, Ru Xiang Sui Zhu, so if they leave, then we'll leave too. We're exhausted. But anyway, like vagabonds kicked out of a park, here we go. 11:49 and camp's already over. Everyone has left and we just finished packing up because we have to pack everything perfectly and well now to look for a place to sleep. See you tomorrow.